Boys and girls, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Happy Monday. Yes, happy Monday, the day after Dutch GP, in which Lando Norris did get his second win on the season. Now, like I said it in my shorts, like post race reaction, but like I thought the race was like it was alright. It wasn't crazy, but I thought it was alright. Lando deserved. I think that second win was a long time coming. He had chances to get that second win, just hasn't happened, but he got it yesterday. Very, very happy to see. Verstappen, he came off the gates pretty strong. Next thing you know, Lando overtook him, and after that, it was just over with. Like, we didn't really see Verstappen much after Lando took him over for that first spot. So, the first race after the summer break, maybe some upgrades were added to like these cars, and McLaren seemed like they probably had the strongest car all weekend. Outside of that, you guys let me know in the comments down below you guys thoughts about the race in general. But we are going to check out today the most expensive F1 cars ever sold. Shout out to Racing Pilot. All credit goes to him. Big time. Without further ado, boys and girls, let me shut up and let's start. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe.
Did you know that you can actually buy old F1 cars that raced and won in the sport? Well, it is possible, but they do come at a ridiculously high price. So for the majority of us, it's unlikely we'll be rocking up to work in an F1 car anytime soon. But for this video, let's just humour ourselves for a bit and take a look at the most expensive F1 cars ever sold. Number one is definitely gonna surprise you. Now, I'm sure some of you weren't aware that you could actually buy F1 cars, and that's probably because it's only the extremely wealthy that can afford to drop millions on one car. But I must note, not every Formula 1 car is for sale. Formula 1 teams don't immediately sell their cars as soon as a season finishes, and they do this for three reasons.
Now, we done something similar to, I think, checking out like F1 cars being sold, and like how you're able to like get it and stuff like that. Obviously, you need a lot of money. Like, you need a lot of money, and it's a lot. It's a lot to like really grasp. Cause like, if I brought one, what am I gonna do with it? Am I just gonna like just have it in my driveway? My garage? Like, am I going to be able to like drive that bad boy in the street? Like,
they still contain valuable components and technology that's vital for developing their current car. They contain important intellectual property that they don't want to release to the public, or they keep them to use for demonstrations or promotions. So for this reason, it's quite rare that you'd find an F1 car for sale that is newer than 2017, or even before that. For example, Red Bull use an old 2011 RB7 dressed in their 2023 livery to do various promotional content, like Daniel Ricciardo's road trip around Australia. But if you're watching and somehow do have the ability to drop millions on an F1 car, or you're just curious like the rest of us, this is how you can find an F1 car for sale. Your best shot is to look online for upcoming auctions, whether that be online or in person. All five of the most expensive F1 cars on this list were sold at auction. And basically, what this means is you'll find an auction house, usually Sotheby's or Bonhams, who'll be paid by the owner of the F1 car to sell it to the target customers at the highest possible price. These customers will then engage in a bidding war where the highest bid gets the car, and you can look online as to when these auctions take place. But if you're looking for something that doesn't break the bank as much, then you should go for a show car. These are replica cars built by the F1 teams which are used for promotions and sponsors, and these are much easier to find. Just head to F1 Authentics where they have a load of show cars for sale, such as this 2007 McLaren that sold for £110,000, or this 1997 Williams, which was £157,000. If all you want to do is look at the car with a coffee and admire it, then a show car is perfect. But getting back to the real F1 cars, what makes one more valuable than the other? Well, as you'll see from this list, it's not as straightforward as you might think. The most important factor in a car's value is its significance and pedigree. For example, a successful car that won races and titles will of course be more valuable, but sometimes others are more desirable because they hold specific significance, such as the Jordan 191, which is now for sale. This car gave Michael Schumacher his Formula 1 debut and was Jordan Grand Prix's first ever F1 car, and is iconic for its 7-Up livery, hence why this midfield car is worth so much. But it's not quite as simple as this. You see, a team will go through several different chassis every season, meaning the car you're looking to buy would not have raced in every Grand Prix for that season. Therefore, the most expensive ones are those that enjoyed success in their very short stint in the sport. But as we'll see from this list, above all, historical significance will trump success, meaning a car that had a 100% win rate may be less valuable to one that took a certain driver to a World Championship milestone. Now, of course, to be valuable, it's got to be in good condition with the engine and gearbox, have the correct documentation, and the availability of spares can have an effect too, right?
But Chad, think about it, like, if I had that car, like that same car, or like a replica of that same car, that, you know, Michael Schumacher won his, you know, his 3rd championship, compared to like a car that won at like, you know, Silverstone 1992. Like, it's a difference. Like, the car that won the championship is gonna be a lot more than just a car that just won like a little race. Like, that's what I need. Give me that like top tier.
So enough of the background, let's get into the list. At number 5 we have the Ferrari F300 from 1998, which sold for $6.2 million in 2022 at the Sotheby's auction in Monterey, California. Now, this is actually the only car on this list to not win the World Championship, but it's nonetheless very iconic. Driven by Michael Schumacher and Eddie Irvine, this car was actually only Schumacher's 2nd Ferrari, and laid the foundations for the incredible success they would go on to have in the early 2000s. But why this specific chassis is so expensive is because it never lost a Grand Prix. It raced at the Canadian, British, French and Italian Grand Prix, winning all 4, and remains the only Ferrari chassis in history to run at least 3 races and win all of them. Next up, we've got another Ferrari, but this time it's the Ferrari F2002 from 2002, which sold for $6.6 million in 2019 at a Sotheby's auction in Abu Dhabi. Unlike the F300, this was a championship-winning year for Ferrari, taking 15 wins and 11 pole positions in 19 races. But this car was the one to make Michael Schumacher a 5-time world champion, equaling the record set by Juan Manuel Fangio all the way back in 1957. And this specific chassis won races in San Marino, Austria and France, all by Michael Schumacher. Honestly, I'm quite surprised this one isn't higher up on the list.
That's crazy.
I've realised that the large majority of you are not subscribed to my channel, so if you haven't already, make sure to smash that subscribe button if you want to stay in the know for all things Formula 1, and to become an even closer part of our community, press that notification bell and enable YouTube notifications to never miss a new upload. Right, now back to the list. Moving into the top 3, and we've got another Ferrari, this one from the year before last. The Ferrari F2001 from 2001, which sold for $7.5 million in 2017 at a New York Sotheby's auction. This was driven by Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello, and was managed by the Ferrari Dream Team of Ross Brawn, Jean Todt, Rory Byrne, among many more. This year, Michael would sail to his 4th World Championship by winning 9 races and only missing out on the podium once in every race he finished. Now, the reason I reckon this car is worth more than its successor is the fact this car won in Hungary, but more importantly, in Monaco, which is bound to fetch a high price. In 2nd place, you guessed it, it's a Ferrari. This time it's the Ferrari F2003 from the 2003 season, which sold for $13.2 million last year at a Sotheby's auction in Geneva. Also driven by Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello, this particular chassis is so pricey because it won 5 out of 6 races that Schumacher won that year to get his 6th World Championship. This was a huge moment as it broke the 46-year record held by Juan Manuel Fangio. This particular chassis is...
And like, it does make sense though, because like the one that tied it is not gonna go for the one that broke. Like the car that tied the record is not gonna go for as much as the one that broke the record. So that makes sense. Like, I want the one that broke the record, not the one that tied it, the one that broke it. But even getting like the first car that won a championship is still kind of nice too. Though, like, this was started it. This was it. Like, this was
also iconic, as it was just one of 4 Schumacher-era Ferrari chassis to win 5 or more races. To this day, it still remains the most expensive modern F1 car ever sold at auction. Now, that may be a bit of a hint as to what number 1 is, and well, surprisingly, it's not a Ferrari. Instead, it's the Mercedes W196R from 1954. This beauty sold for $30.7 million in 2013 at the Bonhams auction at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. This icon of Formula 1 was driven by Juan Manuel Fangio, Carl Kling, Hans Hermann and Hermann Lang, but most important out of those was Fangio, using the W196R to take his second world title on his way to dominate the 50s in Formula 1. 1954 was also significant as it marked the first year that Mercedes competed in Formula 1 and was the last title-winning Mercedes car until 2014 when Lewis Hamilton led Nico Rosberg to win the championship. This specific chassis won the German and Swiss Grand Prix, 2 out of the 6 wins Fangio would take that year. Now, not only is this the most expensive car ever sold at auction, but it also stands 5th in the list of the most expensive cars ever sold at auction, never mind Formula 1. So those are the most expensive F1 cars ever sold at auction. The main thing that shocked me was how 4 out of 5 of them were Schumacher-era Ferraris. But as the sport gets more popular by the general public, it would not surprise me to see these prices go up and up. As soon as the Mercedes turbo hybrid cars from 2014 to 2020 are up for sale, then I would be shocked if this list still contains so many Ferraris. But please, this video is not saying you should buy a Formula 1 car by any stretch of the imagination, because it's one of the worst purchases you can make. And please, if you do buy one, I beg you not to race it, as you'll probably crash, lose all your money, and damage a valuable piece of Formula 1 history. So if you could choose out of any F1 car ever, which one would you love to own?
Ooh.
It's a tough question, but I'd love to know what you guys think, so leave that in the comments section down below. And as always, make sure to like.
That's a good question. What you think, chat? You guys let me know in the comments down below. If I had to choose one to have, ooh, I can't think. That's a very good one. I'll probably choose Mickey Häkkinen's 98 because that's the year I was born. I'll probably choose Mickey Häkkinen's car. He won because he won the year I was born. I got to, but you guys let me know in the comments down below. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. I'll see you guys again. Peace.